right here. All this beautiful talent. First and foremost, can I please get introductions from each of you? I know I said your names, but oftentimes, you know, they don't know who you are and who you play in the show. Let them know who you are in the show. Starting with AJ.
Hello. My name is Alex Lee. So good to meet you. But yeah, I'm the voice of Okarun in DanDaDan. Thank you for being here, guys.
Hi, I'm Abby Trott. I'm Momo in DanDaDan.
I'm Kari Walgren, and I'm Granny Seiko.
I'm Ben Diskin, and I'm all of the problematic aliens.
In the English dub of DanDaDan.
Yeah, those are all aliens. Don't do what they do. All right. So we'll start off with a few questions. This is for everyone, of course. DanDaDan is such a crazy show, right? What would be your elevator pitch for someone who's never watched the show?
Didn't you have one of these in your back pocket? Am I thinking of
Me?
Yeah, didn't you have one?
I just say watch it. Because I think if you try to explain it to people, you turn them off. Because they're like, what do you mean his balls are gone? So I just tell people, like, just trust me. Just watch the first episode, and I promise you're going to be hooked by the end.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, sometimes things are better left unsaid. I'm like, okay, so there's this girl, and she believes in ghosts, and there's this boy, and he believes in aliens, and then they have a fight about which one's real, and then chaos ensues. And it's a comedy, it's a romance, it's paranormal,
It's everything
action,
you'd ever
it's
imagine.
everything you ever dreamed in an anime. And it involves testicles.
Yes.
Oh man, well, my partner has never watched anime ever, and so I was trying to explain the show to him, and I was just like, there's a lot of like ghosts and aliens, and they spend a lot of time looking for this guy's peen, and then they find the peen, but then they lose his balls. And my guy was like, okay, I'll watch it. I'm like, all right.
So it worked.
So it worked.
That's a great pitch, then. Mine isn't a pitch, mine is a plea, which is just listen. Don't judge anybody who recommends this show to you if you've only seen the first episode, because you will think your friend is crazy. And I'm like, no, just get past the first one. It gets really good, and it's a very different show than what you think it is. It's very fun, and it's actually very sweet.
That was a good pitch.
Yeah, great. I want to watch it just based off that. I've already watched it. One of my best friends pitched it to me, and I'm like, that sounds kind of weird. He goes, watch the first episode. I watched the first episode. I texted him immediately. I was like, what are you having me watch? No, just keep watching. All right, I trust you. And then I'm hooked. So I absolutely love it.
And the ballerina shows up.
Ballerina shows up, and it gets even crazier. Just who hasn't watched the show? Just cheer if you haven't watched it.
Yeah.
Okay. So now cheer if you've been convinced to watch the show based off these elevator pitches. Okay.
One guy.
We got more
in the back
cheers
got
than originally, so that works
I love
somehow.
it. Did we mention the balls are golden?
They're golden balls.
That doesn't
Yeah.
get him. I don't know what will.
It's like that Demon Hunter song, right? It's the golden is about the balls. Yeah.
Right, totally. Exactly the same.
All right, next up is, so I want to know about the early part of the show. So I'm always curious to like going back behind the scenes about things like the audition process. So what was that audition process for you like? And were you at that moment familiar with the source material? If so, did that have any impact on your audition?
Yeah, I read. I was already a reader for like a couple of years beforehand. So when I heard that I was getting an anime, I was like, I have to read for this. And then when I got the audition, I almost died inside. I was so scared because honestly, I would give anything to play a rock in this show. But I got to read for Okarun, and I remember going through the process and just doing like 5 takes. Because normally you send like 1 or 2 maybe, but I sent like 4 or 5 because I was like, I don't want to have any excuse. I don't want to be like mad when I see the cast of the show. Oh man, I did that. I just deleted it. You know, I was like, let me give them everything I got, and I feel very, very lucky. And then when I got the phone call, I almost cried. I was so happy. So, yeah. Tears.
There we go. That was awesome. What about you, Abby?
Yeah, I hadn't heard of DanDaDan, but when I got the audition, they sent 2 scenes from the show. The first one was the scene in the hallway at school where Momo and Okarun start arguing about ghosts and aliens and challenge each other. And the second scene was when Momo's wandering through the abandoned hospital and she's talking to Okarun and telling her, really opening up about her family. And it shows 2 very different sides of Momo, and I was immediately enthralled by Shion Wakayama's performance in the Japanese. I loved how raw and real and off the cuff it felt, especially for anime, meaning that sometimes there's kind of a way of reading things, or you come to expect a certain thing, a way of something will sound, and to me that this sounded totally original. And I was obsessed with her performance, and it made me really want to be in the show. Also, the animation was awesome and really funny, and so I was super excited when I booked Momo, and then I immediately started reading the manga, because I was like, I need to know what the heck is happening, and I need to know as much about Momo as possible going into this, because she's a more complex character than it might seem upon first glance. She's very layered. She has, she's hilarious, but she's got a temper, but she's also very sensitive and protective. She hates bullies. There's a lot going on. So yeah, I've been reading the manga, and I'm up through the published volumes. I think it's 15 now. I know you're way ahead on the Shonen Jump app, but I'm loving it so far.
Awesome. What about you, Kari?
Well, fun story. I actually auditioned for Turbo Granny. Yeah. And so they called my agent and they said, hey, so Kari didn't get the part of Turbo Granny, but there's this other Granny that we think she'd be perfect for. So I didn't even audition for Granny Seiko. They just cast me from my Turbo Granny audition. And yeah, so it was, and I remember seeing the first picture of Seiko and being like, wait, she's the grandmother? I think they sent me the wrong image, and I was looking, and so then I'm reading the thing and the description of the character, and it's saying nobody exactly knows how old she is, but she doesn't look like a grandmother, and I'm like, okay. And then started reading the script and everything, and it was just, I was like, she's funny, she's kind of a badass and stuff like that. So I've had a great time with the character. I have not read ahead in the manga because I kind of, there's so few things that I get to be surprised about anymore. So after we finished season 1, I was like, I'm not gonna read ahead. And I kept thinking, man, I really hope I'm not killed off in season 2. I really hope I survive. So I was very excited to get through season 2, and then I was like, man, I really hope they don't kill me off in season 3. So I'm just, so I'm just perpetually from here on out hoping that I don't get killed off and that I get to keep coming back.
Nice. Yeah, I had a similar thing that Kari had. I did not audition for my characters. I auditioned for Okarun, and my audition for Okarun was terrible. It was super bad. I was just like, I don't have a good voice for this character. There's somebody else out there who's going to be way better for this than me, but I want them to think about me for other roles maybe that might come down the pipe. So yeah, I'll try out. And I sent in this just god-awful, irritating audition for Okarun, and I forgot all about it. And then I got a call saying hey, so they want you for DanDaDan, and I almost had a heart attack because I thought I'd booked Okarun, and I would have to do this annoying-ass performance for the entire series, and everybody would hate me. And I got there, and they're like, oh, no, we didn't hire you for that. And I'm like, oh, thank God. Oh, good, okay, so who am I? Like some fun character, right? They're like, well, so, we're gonna have you play the aliens who kind of SA one of the main characters. And I'm like, oh, okay. And as throughout the recording process, they kept pausing the episode on this one shot of the dude with the giant robo-penis out. And I'm just like, can you please take that off the screen while you're talking to me? And they did. And then they switched it to a different shot of my character pushing Momo's legs open. And I'm like, you guys are doing this on purpose, aren't you? And they just kind of went like, yeah, we know it makes you uncomfortable. But no, it was really fun. The show is actually a pleasant show to work on once you get past that stuff. I swear.
It was just growing pains at the beginning, right? I do want to follow up specifically with Kari and Ben. You auditioned for different characters that you got. If you don't mind, would you be able to give us a preview of what your versions of Turbo Granny and Okarun would have sounded like?
Yes, please.
I've never been asked this before. Okay, I'm going to be paraphrasing lines, but like, come here, give me your little delicious little nom 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 nom. I want to eat that little pig.
That's pretty great.
And I don't remember exactly what I did. I think it was something just along the lines of, I'm Okarun! It was like some ear shrilling, just awful thing. Yeah, it was something along those lines.
Ben, you are incredibly talented. I'm glad you didn't get Okarun.
You and me both, buddy.
I still remember when we started recording though, and I was like, oh, who's voicing the alien? And then our director was like, oh, there's a bunch of them. And I was like, oh. And he's like, and they're all Ben. And I was like, what? It was crazy. It's very impressive, yeah.
Hey.
All of them. He's all of them.
Yeah, every single alien is Ben.
All different voice. Impressive.
Hopefully you got a decent rate for each alien. Like Alien 1 gets 1 rape and Alien 2 gets another.
So, he's a
Yeah, all
diva.
kidding aside, Ben does a great job.
No, Ben's
on the show.
amazing.
He's actually very nice.
Can we get a round of applause for Ben? So this show is full of, and you've already said a few already, but this show is full of so many memorable lines. Some are very out there. I'm curious to know, what is your favorite line from the show? Whether it's something you've performed yourself or something a different character said and you just kind of attached to that. Whoever wants to start.
I'll probably take yours. I'll let you do it first. I haven't been yet.
My favorite line is the Turbo Granny one, right? Yeah, I think we have the same favorite line. Was, who are them bitches? It's just, I don't know if it's gonna get better than that. It's so funny. But my favorite line that Momo says, I think still is, want me to feed you while you get swole? I think it's so funny. It's just like out of nowhere. Like
He's like, what?
he's like, huh? So caught off guard. Anyone else?
Anybody else?
Oh, I guess I'll go, okay. Honestly, I won't do this one because it was very strenuous to do, but when Okarun is fighting Evil Eye in the second season and he counts to 20 like 5 times, that was a ton of fun to do. My other one, though, is also in that same area with Evil Eye, and he goes, "You're gonna get such an ass whooping. No one hits Momo!" Yeah.
AJ, I want you to know that someone in the second row just swooned when you did that. Like, I saw that. I clocked it, and I was like, you made someone swoon.
Honestly, at the premiere, the whole audience swooned when that line hit.
I was nervous for that line. I was like, did it come out yet?
The reaction was insane. It was perfect.
I'm gonna embarrass her. Her name is Brenda.
Sorry to call you out. It was just so cute. Mine is just, Seiko turns around, she just walks out of the room, and she's like, I gotta go talk to a guy about some ball intel. And I swear that line made me laugh so hard, and then I went and I did a convention, and a fan came up and made me a bracelet that said ball intel, and it is one of my most cherished possessions. It was like the best thing ever.
So sweet.
Yeah.
My favorite, it's not really a line. It's actually just Momo and Okarun screaming in unison. I don't know what it is, but like AJ cracks me up every time he has to scream at the top of his lungs. It's some of
I'm
the
glad.
funniest stuff.
It
Yeah.
Great reactions always get.
Yeah, AJ's screams are the funniest.
Yeah.
That actually is a perfect transition to my next question. There is a lot of screaming in this show. Now, as professional voice actors, how do you protect your voices from all of those screams? Because obviously you're going to be doing a lot of screams back to back to back and then expected to deliver your regular lines, right? So how do you protect your voices when working? Whoever wants to start.
It's really hard. I think like it's hard because I think especially for a show like DanDaDan, you can't pull punches with your screaming. Like it has to be, you have to give 100%, otherwise no one's gonna buy it, you know? And when you hear the performance from the Japanese cast, it's like, you cannot half-ass the scream. You can't. It's gotta go 110%. So it's a lot of screaming and a lot of kind of budgeting the screams is how I managed to get through like season 1 and 2, where I'll be like, you know, because we also record other things outside of DanDaDan at the same time. So like I might have a session after the DanDaDan session that I have to scream my lungs off. So some days I'll be like, okay, I can scream like 3 screams today, and then I'm gonna have to save the rest for the next session. And then try to get as much vocal rest in between as possible and just like not talk, but it's really hard. Yeah.
We have a really awesome director too, Alex Von David, and having a great director helps a lot because he'll be like, no, save your voice. You know, he'll make sure that you're first of all that you're recording before you start screaming, and he won't make you do it over and over and over and over again. If he gets it on take 2, he stops. So that helps a lot.
Yeah, and he's patient when I'm like, okay, I can't scream today. It's like, some people would be very impatient, be like, you have to record this, but he's very understanding and accommodating too.
Yeah, Alex Von David is definitely one of my top favorite directors to work with. He's such a sweetheart. We also had an amazing engineer. Her name is Keely, and she's really good at her job and made sure, like, sometimes I'd be like, is that good? And she'd be like, I'll make it work. And then she makes it work because she's awesome. There was a period of time, speaking to Alex Von David's patience, where in season 2, where I had like black mold in my house at the time. And I didn't realize this when it was happening, but I just had this really bad cough. I was losing my voice, and he was like, dude, we can get somebody else to do the screams for you. And I was like, no, that's not happening. So I took care of my voice, I took care of the black mold, and then I was able to come back, but he very much is always looking to take care of us and make sure we're okay. As far as like doing the screams themselves, like Abby was saying, you just kind of have to go for it. I feel like you have no other option when you have, you know, such talented people on the Japanese side doing their thing. My goal is always to at least give English listeners an equal experience if I can do so. So I don't want to pull my punches. And if I lose my voice after, I just got to be quiet and drink some tea.
What about you, Ben?
Oh,
You do to protect your voice?
yeah, I have been yelling for a long time, and I'm just kind of used to it after a while. But yeah, drink a lot of water, a lot of, we call it nimjam. It's basically, it's a Chinese cough syrup that's like all natural, and we'll just kind of chug that stuff too, and lots of vocal rest. But yeah, you can't, you know, there's certain types of yelling, like there's like that sort of death metal scream where it's like a fake yell. If we do that, it sounds fake. It doesn't work. It works great for music. It does not work super great for like our roles. So if our character has to just scream at the top of their lungs, it has to sound out of control and painful because that's what the character's going through. So, you know, we just kind of suck it up, and hopefully maybe they'll let us do the yelling at the very end of the session and just do the talking at the beginning, you know, that kind of thing. But yeah, just take it.
All right, that is also great advice. So for those of you who are going to ask, can I get some advice on how to voice act? This is your piece of advice, all right? Take care of your voice. I don't want to hear any questions about how to get into voice acting, because if you do, I'll just direct you to D. Bradley Baker's website, iwannabeavoiceactor.com. Any other questions about voice acting, go there. All right, that said, this particular show, right, there's, going back to the lines, there's a lot of great lines. Clearly it was translated and made into, you know, for the US audiences. How much influence did you have on those lines? How much, like, were you able to improvise at all when translating them over? Or did you stick straight into the script?
That's the other great thing about working with Alex and Keely is that it's a very open, collaborative effort. So Alex is always open to ideas, and will always, if I have something that I'm itching to try, like, we'll definitely try it. Sometimes it sticks. Sometimes it was a great idea. And other times, it was not. And he will tell me that it was not.
Yeah, I'm going with the first one.
Stick with the original line. But yeah, like, we all have, you know, things that we throw in here and there, our little bits and pieces.
Yeah, it's really hard to improvise with anime because on one side we have the mangaka who wrote it and then they translated it for the anime and they did their thing in Japan, and then they send it over here and we adapt it as best we can, but we still have to try to get as close to the original as possible. You want to be careful about switching things up too much because then you're kind of making it your own and it's not ours. But like Abby was saying, yeah, when we can, you know, play around a little bit, Alex is very open to it, and yeah, it's nice that way.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like he let us play with just interpretations of the lines. Like I don't know that we got to rewrite lines, but like I would add a lot of sighs in my line, like. I guess, you know, like I started adding as much of that as I could get away with, and he kept letting me add kind of just a little extra zhuzh to Granny Seiko. So the interpretation, I think he let us play with a little bit while still staying true to the Japanese portrayal.
Yeah, there's some shows where the producers will have a death grip on the adaptation, and they're like, these are the words, do not move from this. Sometimes it's even, this is what they said in the manga, and we want, even if it doesn't fit, say it anyway. And we'll just be like, all right, and then you'll have other times where it's a lot more collaborative, and we'll be tossing out ideas, and this show, I'd say, is somewhere kind of in the middle. They're pretty tight on the translations, but there's like a little bit of wiggle room, and we can just kind of use that to find like our own places to insert like how we feel the characters might say something. But we're pretty close to the Jap on this one, I think. Yeah.
And there's a good point what Kari said too with the size. I think I remember Alex Von David saying that he purposefully underwrites a little bit, you know, so that way in certain lines it gives you more time to, you know, I don't sound like a real person, not trying to fit all the words in the flaps all the time, because sometimes that can make it sound stilted. So, you know, for me in that case it would be like stuttering and whatever, Miss ISA, you know, doing stuff like that.
I do remember. Do you guys remember this? That there was this running list of things that they could say and couldn't say for the twig and berries.
Yeah.
Yes.
In
We
the
can't
script.
use the swear words. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and Alex would sometimes be so frustrated. He's like, hey, "Yeah, we can say balls. No, we can't say that. No, we can't." Like, we've got little ones in the audience, so I don't want to say too much. But like, there was a list of approved words, and there were a list of non-approved words. So we were always trying to like
Yes.
fit in something that we could get away with saying.
Yup.
Yep.
I want to see that list. We could talk about it after.
Yeah.
All right, one more question before we jump into fan questions or audience questions. Hypothetically speaking, so don't get mad at me. Let's just say a live-action DanDaDan gets announced. Who would you cast to play your character in a live-action DanDaDan?
That's so hard. Like, I feel like I need to go to Japan and audition some girls for Gyaru type.
Yeah,
like I
super
need to
important.
go and I feel like there's an undiscovered actress out there who's gonna
Kill it.
crush Momo in
Yeah.
live action. That would be so cool.
Yeah, ideally, I mean, all the actors are Japanese. It takes place in Japan. But if we're going with, like you said, a hypothetical Hollywood, maybe like Michael Cera, like young Michael Cera as Okarun or something. It'd be really funny. It'd be really funny.
I like that, actually. I like that a lot. Young Michael Cera for Okarun. Let's do it.
You guys, I'm gonna spend like way too much time thinking about this question now, because I'm like, who would Granny Seiko be played
I
by?
think the transform form would be like Andy Samberg. You'd evolve to Andy Samberg.
Oh my god.
Let's do it.
That's so funny.
I like that a lot. Anybody else want to throw one in before we jump into fan questions?
I guess I would say Rami Malek for the aliens. I think he's great at playing some disturbing characters. Yeah, he's good.
Just
dude.
a bunch of really handsome aliens.
Yeah.
If we're casting handsome aliens, we go Ben Diskin. All right. With that said, we have 2 microphones, one on this side, one on that side. So please line up. When you are asking your question, we're gonna have some people filtering out questions. Please keep it appropriate, keep it respectful. They're human. Yeah, I'll cut you off if you're being rude or anything. So just be nice. That's all I ask, really. So let's see, who goes first? All right, I know who you are. Ryan, what is your question, sir?
First up, good job, Jimmy.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
So my question is for all of you guys. Since DanDaDan explores the paranormal and supernatural, what is your guys' one by one? What's your guys' favorite horror film or horror franchise?
Saw for me, probably. Yeah, those are cool. Yeah.
I'm hard pressed to pick one because I like a lot of them, but I'm kind of into the retro horror, so maybe Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, yeah. You know, I met that guy, Robert Englund. I worked with him. I thought that I knew him because I'd just seen all of those movies.
That's hysterical. I worked with him too, and it's like one of the only times where I fangirled a little bit. Like, I fangirled a little
So
bit.
cool. He's so nice,
so
too.
cool. And then I ran into him and I found out we were at the same agency. Anyway, sorry. Hollywood.
Young Frankenstein. So wait, I also want to shout out The Shining and then Dr. Sleep, directed by Mike Flanagan, who also did like Haunting of Hill House and Midnight Mass, which are 2 of my favorite shows of all time. So some other shout outs.
Wow, I'm out of place. I don't watch horror anything because it scares me, and I'm a baby. But I recently watched Alien for the first time, and I really liked it. So yeah, it's shot incredibly well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'd go with Alien if I had to pick.
I like that a lot. I'll just throw mine in. I like Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
I count it.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for that question.
Was it great?
Thank you.
Dueling mics.
Hi, my name is Adrian. It's been a pleasure to meet you all this weekend.
Can you speak more into the mic? Thank you.
It's been a pleasure to meet you all this weekend. I just want to say, in my opinion, it's one of the best dub adaptations of anime ever.
Oh,
So thank you so much for your work. As the series progresses, even past the anime, it's not just about the love story between Okarun and Momo, but there's a lot of themes about chosen and found family as the cast gets bigger, where these characters could feel themselves, their flaws included. So what is something that you appreciate about your character, including your flaws, or how do you relate to them?
Good question.
Yeah, that's actually like thematically, that's one of the things that drew me to anime in general is like there's often that theme of nakama, like friends and found family, and like you really feel that in this show. And I love how Momo, like even though when like she and Aira have her differences, obviously, but she can set those aside for the sake of the group, and you know she's willing to apologize to her and to let her try taking leadership. And I really like her for not just like brick walling people, but she's like giving people chances. And yeah, it's one of my favorite Momo qualities.
That's what DanDaDan's all about, you know. And I think for Okarun, I related a lot to him when I was younger. You know, when I was in high school, that idea of like, you know, I don't know if I'm deserving of friendship or love or these things, and that's how he feels. But the truth of the matter is that there's always somebody out there. You just gotta find them, and he's lucky enough that he's surrounded by people now. He has Momo, Aira, and Gigi, and they're all kind of outcasts or misfits in their own way, right? Like Gigi's kind of doesn't belong anywhere because he's a little too silly for the jocks and too intimidating for the silly people. And Momo's Gyaru, she's popular, but she's different still, right? And I think that's part of the reason why she stood up for Okarun at the beginning, right? Because she knows what that's like being made fun of too, because she used to, you know, do the whole like chi thing with her grandmother when she was younger, got made fun of for that. It's just this idea that if you're willing to let people into your life, no matter whatever preconceived notions you have, you might be surprised, and I think that's something that we can all try to remember, you know.
That was a beautiful answer.
Well said.
Yeah, very well said. I love that, you know, Seiko, for as dry and over it as she acts, gives so many of these characters like a soft place to land. Like she's always inviting them into her house, and so it just gets to be this bigger and bigger group of misfits that are just like crashing in her living room and everything. And I really love the scene where she's, you know, saying to Okarun, well, if you want to thank me or something, don't worry about it. Just pay it forward to somebody else. And there's something very powerful about that that I found very compelling.
I play all of the terrible characters. I have no good answer for you regarding them. But I echo their sentiment regarding the other characters.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your question.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm glad to meet you all. And then I'm a big fan of DanDaDan since last year. And then I have a question for everybody. So, what is your favorite episode from DanDaDan record, and why?
What's your favorite episode of DanDaDan and why?
Oh, man.
Might be the ballerina, episode 7, the really dark one. Actually, I like the fact that a show that's so strange and out there can then just pivot on a dime and make you feel everything. And it was a really remarkable display from the creators of how much range they can get out of this show emotionally. It was really great.
Yeah, that was a great episode. I also really like the exorcism episode from season 2. Just it's like the most epic AMV that I've ever seen. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's so hard to pick. I would probably also choose the ballerina episode. Like Ben was saying, it's so expertly done. It's such a work of art. And then the episode ends and you just get like happy, cheerful ending music. It's just the perfect way to describe DanDaDan because it's such a roller coaster. But that ballerina episode, episode 7, I believe, of the first season was incredible. So.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your question. And as I look at the time and I see how many people are waiting in line, just moving forward, direct your question to one person at a time, just so we can ensure that as many people are able to ask questions as possible, okay? All right, so who's next? On this side, right? Hello, friend. What was your name and what's your question?
My name's Raul, and my question's gonna be for AJ. So, AJ, I talked to you earlier, and I was kind of going into how I saw you like 2 years ago, and how, honestly, not just DanDaDan as an anime, but all of anime in general has really blown up into popularity, and how voice actors nowadays are becoming like household names. Like, you guys aren't just a screen behind, you guys aren't just a voice behind an anime. You guys are real people that people are starting to connect with. And, you know, I'm a little younger, but I'm sure you all have been voicing anime or watching anime for years. My question was, like, how does it feel seeing, you know, anime progress in general?
Man, that's such a good question. It's so weird because when I was younger, I remember drawing like, you know, manga, I guess, but drawing like, you know, anime characters for myself, like in school, like in like middle school. And then no matter what it looked like, everyone was like, is that Naruto? And I'd be like, no. Now I haven't been in school for many years, but I feel like that wouldn't be the case. Like, my friend in college, his younger sister was 15 at the time, and she was popular, and she had like a My Hero Academia backpack on and wore it to school and had no issues. Back in my day, you would have gotten bullied for that, you know? Like, it was a completely different world, and it's so cool to be a part of this shift. You know, you have Demon Slayer making $500 million at the box office, and Chainsaw Man's doing well, and it's so cool to see like our little niche thing grow bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm glad it's just so much more accessible. It's not like on Delta planes now, like Crunchyroll's on Delta now. It's so weird. And to be a part of that is insane. I've had a few people recognize me, like just walking around and life and everything, and everyone's always so sweet. It reminds me how beautiful this community is, and I'm grateful to be a part of it for sure.
Thank you so much for your question.
What's up, guys? How you doing today?
Hello.
My question's for you, AJ. If Okarun didn't get the turbo grinding powers, what power would he get and why?
What power would he get in? I don't know if I can imagine without turbo grinding powers, Okarun having powers, but maybe he'd be like the man in the chair, you know? I feel like he's just so smart and he's always like ready to give out facts. I feel like maybe he would be the one like that sends Momo out on missions and is like in her earpiece like telling her stuff. But I don't know if he would have like a superpower outside of the turbo grinding power. Right? He's just so smart. I feel like that would be his power.
Gotcha. Thanks, man. You have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you so much for your question. All right, friend over here. What was your name and what was your question?
My name is Zoe, and I had a question for Abby. I really thank you all for all of your hard work on DanDaDan. I adore this dub, and one of my favorite parts about it is just like how much it makes you laugh at so many points in the show. And I was wondering, Abby, are there like any lines that were really difficult to like get through delivering because you were just like laughing so much at them or something like that?
Sorry,
Well,
are
there's
there,
a
Speaking to the mic a little bit more.
Sorry.
That were hard to get through.
they were hard to get through?
Hard to get through because you were laughing.
Because I was laughing 100%. Like, there were so many zingers. And, like, also, I'd be laughing in response to, like, what Kari just said as my grandma. You know, like, there's a scene in season 1 where Momo's just laughing hysterically for, like, a minute and a half or something. And I was just laughing genuinely because everything else in this whole scenario is so chaotic and hilarious that it was like, I don't even have to act. I'm just here, like, responding to what is happening. But yeah, definitely. I'm trying to think of more specifics. On that note, though, I do have a really funny anecdote from yesterday. I don't know if the fan is here today who stopped me in the dealer hall to say that they watched the show and they were there with their mother, who, their mother is a huge Momo fan, and she is learning English by watching DanDaDan. And this fan told me that their mother is learning English from Momo, and I was like, oh no. That's like a bad idea. I don't know. She's just gonna go around calling everyone a skank. Like, but it was so funny to me. I just had to share that moment. Isn't that so funny?
That is amazing.
Yeah, classic. But yeah, it's such a funny show, man.
Thank you so much for your question.
Thank you.
Hello. What was your name? What was your question?
My name is Josie, and I was wondering between season 1 and season 2, what's your favorite opening?
Who's the question for?
Oh, Abby.
Oof, me? My favorite opening? I have to go with Otonoke, because it's like written for, it's got so many references in it that it's I don't know, it's just such a masterpiece. And also just the way that the internet grabbed that and just like blew it up overnight was kind of insane. I was blown away by how fast that song just like gained traction and exploded.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to say
Creepy nuts.
Creepy Nuts.
Yeah. It's a good song.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your question.
Hi, my name is Faith, and I just wanted to say real quick, like, I love the show so much, and it's helped me through the past year. Like, I watch it with my brother, like, every night when it would come out, and I just wanted to say that, and thank you for all your hard work.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This question is for AJ. Okarun's voice changes a lot between his normal self and when he's possessed. How do you find the balance between the two?
With help, honestly. So what's the great thing about Bang Zoom, which is where we record it, is that they always save like a line or something, or maybe a couple lines from our recording to play for us before we start. So that way it can remind us what the character sound is like. And that's because, like Abby was saying earlier, we do other roles outside of DanDaDan and everything. And sometimes you can just get things mixed up and forget where it was placed and blah, blah, blah. The same thing happens for for the transformed voice. And I genuinely know where those two voices sit. However, Okarun's all over the place. Normally, you do the first episode, and within that episode, they can take those lines out. It took us like 4 episodes to get a solid reference down for Okarun because he was whispering, he was screaming, he was elevated. It was really hard to find a place where he was just talking normally, but eventually we did. But usually, he's there with me to help guide me and let me know when I sound a little too AJ, he says, when I'm doing his normal voice, a little too cool, maybe too close to Turbo Okarun. With Turbo Okarun, should I sound more, whatever? Or should I have a little bit more energy? Just a little bit, not much, because he never has too much. He's helping me out the whole time, so it's mainly him. As far as like placing the voice though, it's actually easier for me to do his Turbo voice because it's way more chill, it's down here, and he stays here for the whole time. But when he's like his normal form, he's always this elevated, screaming, Miss Ayase, and sometimes it sounds like Morty, you know? So it's just, he's all over the place, but he helps me the whole time, Alex Von David, our director.
Thank you.
Of course,
Thank you so much for your question. Hello, what was your name and what was your question?
Hi, my name is Jose Cervantes, and I wanted to thank you all guys for making such a funny show with the dub and really putting your all and soul into it.
Thank you.
And specifically Ben Diskin, I wanted to ask you a specific question.
Okay.
If you were to have kids, or do have kids, at what age would you let them watch this show, knowing they'll hear you in the show?
Well, I don't have children, but if I did, when I'm dead.
You're like, when they can no longer judge me.
Thank you so much,
Thank
everybody.
you.
That's a great question. Thank you so much.
Hello. My question goes
Can you
to...
speak a little closer to the mic?
Oh, sorry. Is this better?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. My question's for AJ. I've been playing a lot of Pokemon this week because, you know, the new game. And I know you voiced in Pokemon. If Okarun did have a Pokemon, what Pokemon do you think you would have?
Lifting your
He's saying if Okarun had a Pokemon, what would
Which
it be?
Pokemon would you have?
What Pokemon? If Okarun had one?
Yeah, which one would you have?
Oh. Okay. I don't know a ton about Pokemon. However, who's the big one that sleeps all day? Snorlax. I think it would be Snorlax.
You don't know what Snorlax is?
I forgot his name. I know he's big and blue and like big and sleeps.
We're gonna have to talk later.
I'm sorry.
It's late in the day, all right?
That's embarrassing. Oh my gosh.
Thanks for your question.
Thank you.
Snorlax is a great Pokemon. He's like my top 5, yeah, great one.
What's the one that switches between like, is it Morpeko?
Morpeko? Yeah.
Morpeko? You can have Morpeko. We can switch with you. Yeah.
Snorlax, yeah.
All right, friend. What was your name? What was your question?
Hi, my name is Jesse, and I have a question for AJ. I have a bit of a hot take. Okarun should be with Aira.
With Aira?
Yes.
Ooh, that's
Excuse
pretty
me,
hot.
sir?
That's a pretty hot take.
Can you please leave?
Oh
The door's right there.
The audience doesn't agree with you.
boy. Wow. Okay. Is that it? What do you want to say? Okay.
Yeah.
So, honestly, someone else came up to me, I feel like, earlier. That was not you, correct? Okay. And also said, I like Aira more for Okarun. And you know what? I don't agree. But I see it. And it's there's something really cute watching these episodes with all the stuff going on in the background. Everyone's so crazy, and Aira's just kind of blushing looking at Okarun. And I'm like, dang it. No, you're not gonna get me. You know? Aira's really cool. So you know what? I don't judge you too much for that. Yeah.
Just a little bit, though.
Yeah, just a little
Also, I love Okarun. He's my goat.
What do you say?
He's my goat.
He's your goat? Let's go. Awesome.
Hi everyone. Hi Abby. My name is Rihanna.
Oh, yeah, sorry, hi.
My question is honestly for either Kari or Ben. Which one do y'all believe in more, and why? Ghosts or aliens?
Aliens.
Are aliens?
Yeah.
Aliens.
The government came out and said.
The government.
And it was just like page 3 news, and everybody moved on with their lives. They're like, aliens exist.
Aliens, 100%.
They're like, yeah, but taxes.
I really want ghosts to be real too, though, like, so badly. So, again, I'm gonna make an announcement. If there are any ghosts here who really would like to chat with me,
This is an
I'm
old
available
building.
to chat. Please come say hi.
I will say I've been in this theater by myself a couple times.
Yeah?
There might be. I don't know.
Are they talking to you and they won't talk to me? They won't talk to me, you guys.
No, they watch me. Oh no. I feel like I'm being watched, but that might be the security cameras.
I'm starting to feel really badly for Abby because every time we do a panel together, she's like, if there are any ghosts here that want to talk to me.
Please just say hello.
That hasn't happened yet, unfortunately.
You know, someday, maybe.
Someday.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Hello, friend. What was your name? What was your question?
Hi, my name is Indira, and my question is for AJ.
Hello.
While you was recording, what was the most difficult scene to record?
Ooh, difficult. It depends. Technically difficult was the episode where Okarun's doing the counting because I had to do it all in one breath. Or I didn't have to, but I felt like that was the way it would sound the best, and it took us a couple tries to get that right. Actually, what we did at first is we counted to like 12, and then we would stop, and then we would continue from there. I would just like listen to myself, and as soon as I said 12, I would go 13, 14, you know. But it just didn't sound right. So that was technically tough. But frustratingly tough was, I think it was episode 4, the end of episode 4, when Okarun and Momo, after the big, crab fight or whatever, they go back to her house. He's about to leave, and they're kind of like, is this the last time we're going to see each other? Is this goodbye? Like, see you tomorrow or goodbye? And that was really tough because it was the same 2 words, or 3 words, goodbye or goodbye, for like 6, 7 cues, something like that. It was a lot. And having to get those differences in there just through the performance or through the way we said it was a little difficult, at least for me. And I got really frustrated to the point where we had to take a break because I was just like, oh my God, we have it. And I knew we didn't have it, but I was just kind of annoyed. And then I think we had waited a little bit. Alex Von David tweaked the lines a little bit. And then Abby came in and recorded, and then we got it. And I was like, that's perfect. And now that scene, like at the end, that ended up going like viral when she goes, see you tomorrow. And he goes, okay, that like went viral on TikTok. But that one was really, really tough for me to get through because I don't know, it was just hard. I wanted to do a good performance, and it's hard to do that with only a couple words.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your question. All right, who's next? Hello, friend. What was your name and what was your question?
Hi guys, my name is Ari. I'm a big fan of the show. Thank you so much for everything that you do.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Thank you. I had a chance to see you guys at Anime Expo too. But I wanted to ask Abby a question. More so, I was really curious about the screaming. Do you ever feel like you're gonna blow the mic out? And if so, like in terms of going 100% for it, how do you communicate? Like, do you communicate that to your engineer, or?
Yeah. Well, so the engineer, like, they have the script too, so they know when there's screaming about to happen, and like they'll prepare for it by like gaining down. There's also on a lot of microphones, there's like a pad feature where you can flip a switch and it knocks it down, so there's extra buffering so that, I don't know. But I'm also, like, I'm not Bryce Papenbrook. I've never broken a microphone in my life, so I'm usually like, okay, as long as the engineer is aware that a scream is coming, like, I can go 150% and I'm not gonna ruin a microphone.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your question.
Thank you.
Hello, what was your name and what was your question?
Hi, my name is Owen. I've been reading DanDaDan for like years now, so I think you guys did a really
Can you put the
great
mic
job.
a little bit closer to you? Thank you.
Thank you, Owen.
Sorry, I'm like.
No, you're good. You're good.
So I've been reading for like years now, and I think you guys did a really great job versus a lot of other shows I've watched in my life get translated. So my question is for Kari. If you were to come into position of Okarun's balls and you had to keep them safe from the yokai and the aliens, where and how would you keep them safe?
Oh, where would I keep them? Maybe in my cat's litter box. Would you look there? Probably not. Either that or maybe in the freezer.
Freezer?
Like, wouldn't you look for a golden ball in a freezer?
Keep them preserved.
Yeah, right?
And it would shrink too.
Nice and
Keep them fresh, I guess.
You're the best.
You'd keep them fresh.
They keep them fresh, right? There you go. Right there next to the ice cream or something. Everybody's like, ah! Sorry, Ben.
God, worst time to take a drink.
What's that next to your Baskin Robbins? Shining.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your question. All right, just based on time, we got time for about one, maybe two more questions.
Hi, my name is Ariana, and I have a question for Abby. I wanted to ask you what you think about the theory that Momo was never actually obsessed with the actor Ken Takakura, but subconsciously because of her psychic powers, she made a connection to that name because of Okarun.
Oh, that's an interesting theory. I haven't heard that. That's a fun idea. I wonder if that's gonna be lore that's revealed at some point, or if it's just she's obsessed with the actor Ken Takakura. Yeah, that's a fun. Have you heard that?
No, I haven't heard that before.
No. Yeah, I like that theory.
It's a cool theory. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you so much. Hello, what was your name? What was your question?
Hello, my name is Marco. This question's for Abby. You voiced Momo, the Zinger Queen. So when it comes to her, is there any line or outtake or bloopers that you kind of wish made it into the show but didn't?
Oh man, none that I can think of off the top of my head. Yeah, there's a lot of really funny. There's a lot of really funny dialogue. I can't think of one specific to Momo, but you know how Kari was talking about we're limited in what we're allowed to say in the show. Sometimes I wish we were allowed to say certain other cuss words that weren't, they had to get cut. So I'll just leave it at that. You can imagine what.
Thank you.
Awesome, thank you so much. And that is just about time. So can we get a round of applause for the cast of DanDaDan, please?
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for coming.
Can we also get a round of applause for the volunteers and the convention staff?
Yay.